future. All right, so hello everyone. Shall I start? Oh, I guess so. Let me share screen. I don't have slides per se right now, so I guess you see my screen now, isn't it? If not, then please shout. So I have a collection of web links, but in principle, this is an extended version of the talk which I gave at Collaborations Workshop 2024, but then I had only 2 minutes, and now I have 7, and I will give you also some updates of what was happening after that. So some more details are in this blog post, so I put a collection of links in the HackMD document. And also this blog post was written for the carpentries, and it now has been also reposted at the carpentries website. So where to start? So as you know, I work here in Scotland for 17 years by now, came from Ukraine, and we started this translation project after the start of full-scale Russia's invasion into Ukraine, to help Ukrainian researchers both inside and outside Ukraine. And this is important to help them now, and this will be important later to rebuild Ukrainian science after the victory. Ukraine has an open science plan, and there is a lot of data, and including also data about impact of Russia's aggression, which we want to share with the world. So we feel like this is important to get Ukrainian scientists to help them to integrate into international communities. So technically, we started with a tool which was called Transifex, and we are really grateful to carpentries for setting this up earlier for Spanish lesson, which was really successful. So here you can see, so these are links which require authorization. So this is something that you can't see otherwise using shared links. So you can see that we translated almost 5 lessons now, and green here means translated, and blue here means reviewed. But also it was quite difficult to render such lessons online, because they were developed using old carpentries template. If you are familiar with evolution of carpentries lessons, you may see that recently they changed their look and feel, and this is a new template which is called Workbench. So in the meantime, of course, what happened is that there was a pilot training using Ukrainian language, but still English website last year on Research Software Camp. Its recording is even available on YouTube, so you can hear me speaking Ukrainian there if you would like to learn bits of technical Ukrainian language. But then, of course, it was still very hard to render lessons. And then something interesting happened. So carpentries are now migrating to another platform, which is called Crowdin. And this gives us much more enjoyment, because now we can basically have several buttons, and then we automate everything from translate. I mean, after translation is available, there is only pressing of 2 or now even 1 button, and then we can see instantly lesson rendered online, and if necessary, we can fix it and so on. So you can see, for example, here that this is a Git lesson, and then if it is translated, translation will be stored here internally. If it is reviewed, after that, we press the magic button, and then it pulls stuff from Crowdin platform to GitHub, and then we need to synchronize branches, and then it will rebuild the website. And now you can see that this is old familiar version control with Git, but only now in Ukrainian. So the workflow is quite automated. I was doing training in Git using this already website in January for winter school in system analysis for Zaporizhzhia Polytechnica in my home city in Ukraine. And I even took a risk to fix a typo 15 minutes before the lesson, and which I should probably never do. but it still magically worked. So this lesson already was used in another event. So you may know this twinning scheme between British and Ukrainian universities. So the twin of St. Andrews is Astroh Academy, and we collaborate with their School of Computer Science. And you can see here that they had, I was teaching online, and they had remote helpers in a room. So that was almost like a carpentry's workshop. So we hope to extend this collaboration with them, and then possibly one of our full-scale carpentry's workshop will also happen eventually on the base of Astroh Academy. So now new developments, what happened after. So first of all, we now indeed, to be prepared to teach full-scale carpentry's workshop, we translated the workshop template. Again, carpentry's instructor, you will find this all very familiar. And this is useful for us now, even if we will not run immediately any full-scale workshops. That's useful to tell to Ukrainian partners what is the carpentry's workshop, what to expect there. And also it is useful because it has quite nice instructions, as I see, about the software which we recommend to use, so how to install Bash, Git, Anaconda, and so on. So this is always useful even outside carpentries. When I teach something to my students, I quite often refer to that, for example, if they need to install Anaconda. Another interesting carpentries related things. So there are 3 more carpentries related things. It's close to finish. I hope I'm not yet over time. So there is a project which is called Glossaria. And Glossaria is an open source multilingual glossary for computing and data science terms, which is also now supported by carpentries. The idea is that you can use it, of course, as a dictionary of terms, but you can also use it as a library. You can use it in R and in Python, and hopefully the next generation of Glossaria will work in a way that you can even link directly from carpentry's lessons to definitions of terms in Glossaria. So in St. Andrews, we have a student project which is called Summer Terms Enterprise Program. So I submitted their proposal, and 6 students from Ukraine for studying St. Andrews were interested. And as of today, for example, this is quite exciting because yesterday we had only 1 term which was done at some hack day in Glossaria when I tried, but then 5 more terms is already contributions of students from St. Andrews. So this will be quite active during June and July, and then we hope to have more Ukrainian translations here. And then last but not least, this is something in which you may be interested. So there is a series of workshops which is called Workshops for Ukraine. It is organized by Daria Mikhailishina. And then here, these workshops are workshops in English. I did the Git training there, and there is a lot of data science-oriented workshops. So if you will scroll up, you will see here, the next one will be R with GT package making tables, visual communications in R. Again, R, there were Python workshops, there is something like a website creation and so on. So the idea is that this is a fundraising initiative, and then people can sign up for the workshop by donating to one of the Ukrainian causes, which is suggested here. So they made a donation starting from 20 euros, and then they get access to this workshop and in person or using recording. And also you can do the same mechanism to sponsor a student space. And Daria said that she has a waiting list. So there are students who cannot attend. And then if somebody sponsors a place, then they can attend and so on. So please have a look. And maybe one of you will be interested to contact Daria and teach at this workshop, or maybe sponsor participation of a student. So I got through both procedures, so please ask me, I can tell you in more details how this will work. Okay, so I hope I over time a little bit. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you very much. It's a great update and great project. If you could also add the link to the HackMD document, then people can have a look at the website, and we'll also
Yes.
to promote
Yeah.
the workshop and other workshops that are doing there.
Yes, line 81, and for workshops for Ukraine, line 89. Yes.
Yeah.
It's all already there.
Great. We do have a few minutes for some quick questions. We'll open up breakout rooms later for more in-depth discussions, but if there's any pressing questions.
I put one question in the HackMD, but I can ask it anyway. So I mean, it looks like a very interesting work. So the question that I had was, do you use any glossary for the technical terms or the software related terms like Git and Bash? So did you have any rules around what terms you're not going to translate to Ukrainian? And if you did use this glossary, are there any specific rules that you use to create it? Because I think it could be very helpful for other software projects which require translations, but then struggle with getting a glossary set up.
Yeah, in fact, there was a glossary which we can set up ourselves using Transifex tool, but Transifex is something what we are living in the past, right? In the new tool in Crowdin, I think also there are some tools to create a glossary inside Crowdin, and then it helps you when you are translating to signal you that this word is not translated the way like it is translated in a glossary. But I think your question is slightly different, right? You are not asking the technical part. You're asking where we can find those translations.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And then what what kind of rules are used to create such glossaries if we want to create a customized one, and if we don't want to use available glossaries but create our own, what kind of rules should we be following?
Well, probably like what we are doing now, right, in creating this glossary is probably closer to that process about which you're asking. We indeed, with some terms, we struggle because, for example, if you have terms which are quite long established, you can look in Ukrainian textbooks which are used in Ukrainian universities. You can look at maybe even at Wikipedia and so on. Sometimes even Google Translate may give you a good start, but then you need to be an expert also in the topic to figure out whether Google gives you something useful or not. Like, for example, you have the word definition, and there may be one word in Ukrainian for definition as a definition when you define something, and another word for definition as a part of speech, which is adjective. And Google translated it just yesterday, what I remember, it as adjective, so we had to spot that. So you do some research. Also, sometimes you have contacts in Ukraine who work in this area, and they can help you. So it's a lot of individual approaches. One interesting thing is, of course, for example, Git. So I left Ukraine in 2007, and Git was, I think, not even in use there. I think I used CVS at that time to contribute to that repository in St. Andrews. And a lot of words were translated basically like a jargon rather than literate translation. And we were speaking with colleagues from Ukraine, and then how you say branch, for example, because branch in Ukrainian will be gilka. We're saying just branch. And you are trying to make more like adequate and literate dictionary, of course, and you would like you would not like to various jargon to go into it. We even try, even in this Glossaria project, we collaborate with a colleague from our School of Modern Languages. So we have a PhD student who is also Ukrainian, and it's good to have also a linguist who has a degree in actual translation in our team as well.
I see. Like, sounds like very nice and interesting ideas about involving someone who's fluent in the language process. I think I'll write to you because I have some more questions. So perhaps I'll give you over email. But thanks for sharing your.
Yes. So yeah. Also, one of other challenges is, for example, when you have contributors, they need to know both like technical side of things, right? And they need to know various subtleties of possible translations and so on. So, but the point is that tools which you are using, they help you collaborate around translation. And you probably then hope that you have a collective brain, and at the end you arrive to something which works. Okay, so please, and I will be happy to sit in a call and talk more about that.
Yeah,
Sure.
we'll have the breakout session as well.
Yes. Oh,